you two doing?
It's hard.
You're instigating from behind the camera, and you're going for it like Jesse went for the train.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most unforgettable moments when Dr. Phil just couldn't keep calm on his show. During these rare but iconic outbursts, he ended up kicking some people out, shutting them down, or simply seethed in fury. Either way, they made for some good television.
You were nothing before I came on this show.
Thank you for that.
Number 20, when no one's ready to listen. Overprotective mother Cindy brings her daughter Sarah on this episode to share their suspicions about her daughter-in-law Marissa. Curse words fly left and right, and the drama is on. When Sarah can't contain herself, Phil gives her a piece of his mind, albeit in his signature gentle cadence.
I don't know what you have on your mind or who you think you are, but that's not happening here. And if you're that immature, then I'm going to invite you to leave.
Immature is lying about a miscarriage and then saying that I'm a sociopath?
Okay. If you cannot conduct yourself in an appropriate manner, then I'm going to invite you to leave.
When her mum comes to her rescue, claiming she's just defensive about her so-called cubs, you can almost feel the doctor's eyes rolling. Things get even more heated when Marissa comes in with an arsenal of expletives of her own.
Whoa. No. You need to stop right there. Were you able to hear what I was saying backstage?
Yes, I did.
Then you
but
need
I am pissed off. I am tired of them trying to humiliate me on national television.
No, stop.
In the end, Dr. Phil is left trying to mediate between three quarreling women, none of whom wants to back down. He quickly makes it obvious that he's had enough. Number 19, a strict warning. This show might have spawned memes galore, but this episode is as serious as it gets. Wilma is claiming her husband, Adam, behaved inappropriately with her toddlers and violated her. Adam, on the other hand, is bent on denying it until the bitter end. As the two parties reach a deadlock, Dr. Phil issues a final warning.
I need to be clear with both of you. I take this very seriously. This is a very high-stakes scenario.
He offers to help either one who's willing to fess up and ask for his guidance. However, when they stand their ground, he sternly advises them against lying, saying that he will take it upon himself to prosecute them if they're found guilty.
Have I been clear?
Oh, yeah.
And you understand the role I'm going to play if either one of you are lying about this. Mm-hmm. Just so we know.
It's a surprise they didn't buckle under the pressure because it was heavy. Number 18, defending his staff. No one messes with Dr. Phil's team, and he makes it clear on this episode. We meet Andrew and Sarah, who lost custody of their son Drew when he was 5. The pair were struggling with alcohol use disorder, and Sarah's relationship with her mother, Drew's custodian Roberta, had soured. Now they want their child back. But Roberta has no faith in their parenting. That said, the moment Phil lost his cool was actually when he found out about Andrew misbehaving with his staff.
You've been calling up the staff repeatedly from 6:30 in the morning until late at night, screaming and making demands and telling them if they worked for you, you would fire them.
Equipped with all of the instances of his misconduct, which included racism, misogyny, and a general mean-spirited attitude, the host grilled him with no mercy. Although Andrew claimed he had good reason for it, Dr. Phil had no interest in his excuses.
Did you call him screaming?
I asked you a question.
Yeah, that's after I asked you several that you didn't answer. No, you didn't.
Number 17, the Cancer Hoax. Around the same time that Belle Gibson was garnering infamy for faking her cancer diagnosis, Dr. Phil's guest Jessica claimed her mother Patricia was doing it too. In this episode, Jessica attempts to expose Patricia for lying about living with terminal cancer, as well as a host of other illnesses. According to her, she's clout chasing to create an image of an accomplished weightlifter who powered through cancer to break records in her sport.
If you were there, you would have seen me break and make 3 world's record, Jessica.
You didn't break a world record.
Yes, I did. UPA.
At one point, Patricia even argues that she lost around 100 pounds in only a few days. What sends Dr. Phil over the edge is when Patricia feigns ignorance about the impossibility of the claim. His usually calm demeanor gives way to a dose of sarcasm, leaving the audience in splits.
You lost 100 pounds in 6 days. Does that make even common sense to you?
I don't know, I'm not a doctor.
Well, you don't need to be a doctor to know you can't lose 100 pounds in 6 days unless they're cutting off body parts.
Number 16, the world's biggest bride. This case was the perfect example of how an unrealistic body goal had put a young woman on the road to self-destruction. Suzanne, who was days away from getting married, shared her dream of being an 800-pound bride with Dr. Phil. Towards that end, she was consuming nearly 30,000 calories a day. While Phil was rather understanding of her plight, it was her sister Cassie who angered him when she argued Suzanne was healthier than she was.
No, she's not.
Actually,
no, she's
she
not.
is.
Unless you're in stage 4 cancer, she is not healthier than you are.
I've had a history of heart problems. She's healthier than I am.
Oh my God, I can't believe what you just said.
He saw no logic behind her claim that her diet was in any way nutritious, especially when half of it was junk food. For Suzanne's own good, Phil made sure to dispel her sister's delusion.
We did a pre-interview with her, okay?
Okay.
She told us what she had to eat the day that we did the pre-interview with her. She's healthier than you? Then you need to stay here when she leaves.
Number 15, what are you, a Steepford wife? When a pair of vexed parents, Nathan and JC, bring their teen daughter Valencia to Dr. Phil to discuss her troubled nature, the host turns the line of questioning on them. He finds out the dad's violent towards their daughter and the mum couldn't care less about it. Dr. P is visibly distressed by JC's spineless negligence and snaps.
He sends you upstairs and you just go. What are you, a Steepford wife? No. You've got a wild-eyed man standing there, frustrated, upset. She's laughing in his face. He sends you upstairs, so you just toddle off?
He gets even more irritated when the couple keeps coming up with excuses for their mistreatment of Valencia. Regardless of their constant explanations, Phil makes it crystal clear that assault is never the answer, and he does it in a way that stings.
You scared me. There's 7 other children in this home, right?
Right.
Yes, there is.
I'm horrified.
Number 14, a toxic husband. Marlon comes on Dr. Phil to whine about his wife, Dedria, not fitting his beauty standards.
I don't believe I'm asking for a lot. I think she needs to lose about 20 pounds.
No, I think you need to lose 20 pounds in your head.
His comments get more and more grating as he compares her to his ideal woman, Beyonce. He demands that she lose weight and doll herself up, all while managing their household on her own. She, on the other hand, has had enough of his narcissism, and from the look of it, Dr. Phil wants no part of it either. His pent-up annoyance is clear in his raised tone, but his reaction gets juicier when he pulls out the sass.
What you're describing, to have your life, what you need to do is hire you a hooker, a cook, and a babysitter.
The episode ends with Dedria getting an empowering makeover as she regains her confidence. Number 13, a personal trigger. Very rarely does Dr. Phil bring his own business into his guests' problems. However, this episode was a striking exception. 3 sisters, Devin, Riley, and Autumn, attempt to hold their mother, Linda, accountable for her alcohol and substance use disorder. They say that she downs about 18 bottles of beer in a day and is hostile to her family.
You had to come here to have this conversation with me for me to point out to you for the first time, like, oh, I am abusive, negligent, and hurtful to my daughters.
Well,
Somebody needs to get your attention, woman.
It is further revealed that their father, Scott, is a problematic parent too, and enables his wife. Stuck in a dysfunctional household, the girls remind Dr. Phil of his own childhood. Exasperated by Linda and Scott's behavior, he recalls how his father's alcohol use disorder affected him negatively. He gets so infuriated that he can't help but want to slap some sense into Scott.
I've been in there with the yelling and the screaming and the name calling and the throwing, and nobody would step up and man up and do something about it. And I resented it then for me, and I resent it now for the 3 of you.
Number 12, not a space for mockery. Dr. Phil takes pride in maintaining the integrity of his stage. So when his guest Charles is on the verge of tears in fear of losing the love of his life, Sally, he does his best to create a safe space for him. He brings out coach Mike Bayer to talk to him, and Charles breaks down in a moment of vulnerability.
The universe, higher power is all communicating to you that this is not the right fit.
I do love her, though, and I wish that I could do something to change to have her in my life. I wanted to grow old with her.
After all, Sally, who's married to someone else and is also dating another man, Alan, has no plans of getting back together. However, when Alan starts to sneer at his predicament, Phil doesn't go easy on him. He immediately sends him down to the audience section and warns him against being inappropriate.
You are being inappropriate, and I am not going to have you here mocking this situation, so I'm going to have to ask you to sit in the chair right down there where he came from.
And inappropriate. I'm just laughing.
If that's not okay, then you can go out the back door. Either one. Right. You take your choice.
Viewers burst into applause as Charles continues his consultation with Mike. Number 11, do not insult my intelligence. A woman's attempt to demean her daughter with backhanded insults goes horribly wrong when Dr. Phil calls her out. This case revolves around Stephanie and her mother Michelle, who are at odds with each other. The former claims Michelle got her arrested by falsifying an assault report. Meanwhile, Michelle is concerned about Stephanie's harmful actions stemming from her alcohol use disorder.
You say that you take her to the hospital for a 7-day hold because she's hallucinating and showing erratic behavior because of drinking.
Drinking and a combination of the medications that she's been on.
As Phil tries to understand Stephanie's situation and why she faced a setback in her recovery journey, her mother chimes in with passive aggression. This instantly ticks him off and he rebukes her, cautioning her against questioning his ability to pick up on her antagonism.
Do not insult my intelligence by trying to think that I don't understand how derogating your comments are when you make them. I am not a fool.
As always, he isn't afraid to get curt. Number 10, did you go to the 5th grade? Everyone remembers Danielle Bregoli, aka the Cash Me Outside girl.
Lying, you mean? That's what makes me want to take the next bitch car.
What now? I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Are you speaking English?
She went viral thanks to her rebellious behavior, weird phrases, and fake street accent. But Phil wasn't having any of it. After Danielle gives a smart, alecky, poor grammar-filled remark about stealing a car, Phil stares in disbelief before asking her if she went to the 5th grade.
Did you go to the 5th grade?
This results in shocked gasps from the audience, who proceed to clap while Danielle marinates in the burn. It's not easy to get the otherwise calm and collected Dr. Phil to insult you in front of hundreds of people, but Danielle managed to find a way. Number 9, you, sir, have a black heart. This is a bit of a dark episode. Pamela claims that her ex-husband Pete ran out on their family to be with a massage therapist that he met at a couple's retreat. She also blames him for their son taking his own life.
Because I think you have said some things here today that are absolutely reckless.
Pete, in turn, says that Pamela wanted their son dead. It all culminates in a fiery and destructive 3-minute speech from Phil.
And I pray to God that you don't mean them, because if you do, you, sir, have a black heart.
The host absolutely tears into Pete by calling him reckless and destructive before telling him that he has a black heart. Of course, everything is said in that calm Dr. Phil cadence, but you can tell that he is just seething inside. He's not often one to judge people, but he is doing a whole lot of judging here. Number 8, get a job. This kid is so spoiled rotten that Phil resorts to raising his voice. Now that's an accomplishment.
You say you watch me and you take notes, well, take this note.
In this episode, an aspiring singer, self-named King Keith Franklin VII, believes that becoming famous is more important than a job or education. As such, the 20-year-old lounges around in his mother's house, hoping to achieve that goal. Unfortunately, his mother isn't having it, and neither is Dr. Phil. The host tears into him by ordering him to pull his own weight and contribute around the house, before straight up telling him to get a job.
You don't sit around watching Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian or Dr. Phil on television and tell yourself that's a life education. Get a job!
Reality checks can often be hard to listen to, especially when they come from a nearly yelling and clearly irate Dr. Phil. Number 7, you don't put words in my mouth. In this episode, Phil sits down with couple Paul and Alaska.
I have no reason whatsoever to believe that she's having sex with anyone.
Don't sound like it.
Alaska has a cuddling business and uses provocative photos to market herself. This has led Paul to worry about her sexual behavior and personal safety. While defending herself, Alaska states that Phil has been insinuating various insulting ideas throughout the interview. In her mind, she thinks Phil believes that she sleeps with the men that she meets. Of course, this sets Phil right off.
You're supposed to be helping, not making me angry.
No, well, look at me. Look at me. You don't put words in my mouth.
He tells Alaska that she shouldn't put words in his mouth before looking her dead in the eyes and stating that he isn't afraid of her. That one woman's "oh damn" expression pretty much sums it up. Number 6, you are committing a crime. Phil has a short leash when it comes to the mistreatment of children. That is on full display in this dramatic episode that culminates in Phil accusing Kaylee of a crime.
When a child is a certain age, they don't have the capacity
to give consent.
Kaylee is a dominatrix who gives her daughter alcohol and marijuana and allows her to have sex. Phil begins Kaylee's roast rather politely, saying that teenagers cannot give consent under the law and that adults need to monitor their behavior.
You can roll your eyes and you can be sarcastic all you want. You are committing a crime.
However, that was just a prelude to the main event, when Phil tells Kaylee about 20 times that she is committing a crime by giving her daughter drugs and permitting her to be physically intimate with other people.
These are crimes.
Phil is less mad and more dumbfounded over the whole situation, and that makes his reaction all the more entertaining. Number 5, let me please have an intelligent conversation. Many of the previous entries showed a frustrated Dr. Phil. Here, he is positively irate, and it is oh so satisfying.
Let me please have an intelligent conversation without you two bickering back and forth.
First, he shows frustration with an interjection, saying, "Let me please have an intelligent conversation." And when the guest ignores Phil and begins bickering, he simply sits back and folds his arms like an ignored and irritated parent.
Will somebody put these children's interests first?
But before the women can finish, Phil interrupts and goes off about his guest's children, which culminates in him telling her to shut up. Here we see all of the telltale signs of seething anger. Insults, folded arms, interruptions, yelling, sarcastic rhetorical questions, and exasperated hand gestures.
My dad used to tell me never pass up a good chance to shut up.
The man is absolutely fuming, and it is terrifying. Number 4, kicking off Bum Fights producer. For those who are unaware, Bum Fights was a film that saw people who are unhoused performing amateur stunts for small amounts of money or alcohol. The video was enormously controversial and had even been banned in various countries.
It's a sick world.
A man who bought the film rights, known by the alias Ty Beeson, appeared on Dr. Phil hilariously dressed as Dr. Phil. However, his appearance lasted for less than a minute before he was kicked off.
That's despicable. I don't want to talk to you. You can go.
Phil stated that he didn't want to talk to Ty and promptly had him escorted off the stage by security. This is worse than yelling. This is like when your parents say they're disappointed and refuse to talk to you.
If you think I exploit people, every time you bring a guest on this show, you exploit them and spread whatever problems they have to the whole world. You think that's helping them?
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. You can go.
In a way, we don't think we've ever seen Phil so angry. Number 3, Sexy Vegan. Sexy Vegan has earned its place in the Dr. Phil Hall of Fame thanks to his eccentric physical appearance and reckless antics. And in this particular episode, his antics are on full display. He sings a little theme song, brags about his sexiness, and moonwalks down the aisle before hurling insults at his mother. Suffice to say, that was the last straw for Phil.
Hey, now you need to look at me.
I don't have to do.
He forcefully tells Sexy Vegan to stop and actually gives him a chance to listen before kicking him out and apologizing to his audience.
That is childish and immature behavior.
Phil has some mad patience, so to see him kicking someone out over their toxic behavior truly says a lot about his and Sexy Vegan's tumultuous relationship.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Number 2, Are You Kidding Me? In this episode, Phil shows a troubling clip of 3 adults bickering at a Little League baseball practice. The adults can be heard calling each other crazy and insulting each other's hair colors and outfits.
You should be punched in the face for how you acted.
One even says that the other should be punched in the face. Phil, in turn, brings up the out-of-frame children and literally shakes with anger when screaming, "Are you kidding me?"
Are you kidding me?
After some much-deserved roasting, it all ends with a very exasperated Phil leaning back in his chair and saying, "Come on," in a very defeated tone. If it wasn't clear already, Phil really hates when children are involved in adult immaturity and stupidity.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Kicking Out an Internet Stalker. This is a legendary episode of Dr. Phil, and it comes with one of the best Phil reactions of all time.
It's the love story of the century, but you've never physically met.
No, sir.
The guest is Bailey, a young adult who liked a stranger's tweet and promptly fell in love. Bailey sent the woman thousands of messages declaring her love, even though they had never even met.
You can all laugh at me, it's
Well,
fine.
you know what? I think we're just going to shut this down because I'm not into all this melodrama and you playing the victim.
After Bailey plays the victim, Phil quickly shuts the entire interview down, saying that he's not interested in the melodrama and manipulation. Now think about that. Phil was so incensed at Bailey's behaviour that he refused to listen or help, despite claims of wanting to do so, and just kicked her off instead.
You're very manipulative and I'm not interested.
Sure, he never raised his voice, but actions speak a heck of a lot louder than words. Which Dr. Phil episode lives in your head rent-free? Tell us in the comments.
That's like a tired record. You only have about 6 things you say.
Huh.
And, you know, after you say them, it's just...
Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.